Jim White, and it's talkSPORT's Deadline Day editor Alex Crook, and we're live in talkSPORT on this transfer window special. We have about 40 minutes to go until we hit the deadline. So many big deals are being done, so many going down. We're under siege, so many Rangers fans getting in touch because Aaron Ramsey has made a shock return to British football. But it's Scottish football and it's Rangers. The line to Super Ali wasn't that great. We've got Ali back. Ali McCoist, welcome back, my friend. You're trying to get to your bed because you're on early with Laura in the morning. We apologise, Ali, for keeping you up. But Ali, this is going down a treat with Rangers fans, not only in this country, but worldwide.
Jim, I've got to say to you, first things first, you and Crookie won't believe this, but I'm now actually in my bed. There you are. That's the start.
That's an image.
But you're absolutely spot on. I mean, I've got to say, Jim, I'm actually buzzing. It's take a lot to get me going, but I'm so thrilled at the signing. My kids are thrilled at the signing. The Rangers fans are thrilled at the signing. I knew there was a potential for it happening, Jim, but Crookie, I couldn't see it happening. It's a fantastic signing for Rangers. It really is. And I tell you what, it doesn't have to send out a message.
I was going to ask you, Ali, because I bumped into you, didn't I, in the hotel at foyer last night. I wasn't wearing any shoes. I was off to pick up a takeaway pizza. You were off to bed, I think. Did you have any inkling then that this mega deal for Rangers was in the offing on deadline day?
Do you know something, Crookie? I'll be brutally honest with you. I'd received a phone call just when a text message just when I come off the plane before I met you in the hotel saying it was potentially a goer. You know, and even then I was looking at it saying, maybe, you know, maybe wishful thinking, but I've got to say, and Jim, I know we broke up earlier on, there were signs again that reminded me of the Gascoigne signing when standing outside the front door with all the fans there. And I can assure you, if he's half as successful as Paul and is such a big hit with the fans as Paul, then the Rangers have made a fantastic signing. I genuinely am thrilled, surprised, but really, really pleasantly surprised, guys.
I think there's been a lot of give and take, Ali, in terms of the figures in this one, because Ross Wilson, the sporting director, somebody you know well and I know well, he says any agreement we reach had to be within our normal wage model, and Aaron's desire to play here has enabled us to achieve this with Juventus's cooperation. So give and take, I think, is the rule of the day here with this deal.
Well, it has to be, Jim. Listen, because there's no way that we want to go down the road that the club went down before, because that was an absolute disaster. So I think common sense and good business sense would prevail here, and that certainly looks to be the case. And congratulations to Ross and the Rangers staff for getting that over the line. And as I say, I'm still looking at some of the pictures online of Aaron standing outside with the Rangers top on, the Rangers scarf. And I am so pleased, lads.
Ali, before you go, was he always a player who impressed you when he played here with Arsenal and then he took himself... I mean, it's fair to say it didn't work out the way we would have planned it at Juventus, but was he someone that always caught your eye?
100%, Jim. I think talented player, there's no doubt about it. You look at that, effectively, the Welsh side that did ever so well, I think it was in the Euros. I think it's safe to say that Aaron and Gareth Bale were the two, you know, at the forefront of that side. Obviously, it's a team game. I get that, but these two guys, I think, were stalwarts within that side. Extremely talented player, wonderful ability, wonderful vision, a great touch on the ball. You're right, things did not probably go the way that he would have wished at Juventus. However, I mean, I'm always half full rather than half empty. Things didn't go the way that Paul wanted at Lazio, so you never know.
Sure. I mean, he has a game time at Juventus. He surely can't feature on Wednesday, Ali, or can he?
Of course he can, Jim. Get him in. Get him in. What are you thinking about? It's Celtic at Celtic Park, Jim. Get him in. We didn't bring him in for Stainhouse Muir reserves at home in the cup. Come on.
Ali, get the mud pack on. You're in here, as you know, well early tomorrow morning with Laura. Thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Smash it, boys. Keep up the good work.
Ali McCoist there, heading off to sleep. It's not often I've said that. So Alex Crook is with me. Alex, some big deals have gone down. I mean, obviously Ramsey is just one of them. Our European football expert, who's on with Simon, myself and Danny Murphy this morning, rejoins us tonight, and he is Kevin Hatchard. Kevin, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you hear McCoist here waxing lyrical about Ramsey. That has caught the imagination north of Hadrian's Wall, as you can imagine, on the south side at Ibrox Stadium. Are they going nuts about this deal, Kevin?
Yeah, and rightly so. You know, we know what he's capable of. We've seen that in the Premier League. We've seen it most notably at international level with Wales. It's a shame the way it worked out at Juventus, but there is fierce competition for a regular midfield place there. Max Allegri has clearly made up his mind about whether Ramsey features in his plans. There was a financial consideration as well, but I think it's a great move for him, and it's a fantastic move, not just for Rangers, but for the whole of Scottish football, because it's a real feather in the cap, isn't it, to have a player of that quality choose to go to Scotland. It's great.
Talk to me, Kev, about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We've been playing the hokey cokey with that one. It was on, then it was off, then it was on again. We've just seen live images from Barcelona of him leaving the hospital there, having passed his medical. How's this still being talked about in the Spanish media?
Well, I think it's a remarkable deal because Barcelona, as we know, have had to jump through so many hoops to try and get deals done. They are very much up against it in terms of the overall finances, but also in terms of the salary cap. They've had to renegotiate wages with their existing players. They've had to make sure that they don't do permanent deals. So, for example, Traore came in on a loan deal initially, and there's no obligation to buy there. It's an option, isn't it? So they're having to be very careful in that regard. And they've taken advantage here of a situation where Arsenal have decided they've reached the end of the road with Aubameyang, who I think that's a shame. Because I still think he's got something to offer, but I can understand why they feel that. And Barcelona have nipped in. I can see him scoring goals for them. I can see him being a big hit in La Liga. I still think there's something there in terms of talent and in terms of what he can bring to the club. So it works out really well for Barca, probably works out for him, and Arsenal will look at the money they'll save and feel like it helps them as well.
He must have seriously crossed the line as far as Arteta and Arsenal were concerned, Kevin, because it now is clear there was no way back. There is no way back.
I wonder, Jim, have they learnt the lessons that were there for all to see with Mesut Ozil, because they gave a massive contract to him, and there was a parting of the ways, which was very costly and a real shame, because you had a top quality player who was on the sidelines for so long. Clearly, they're trying to change the culture of the football club. They're trying to bring in discipline, and they're trying to make Mikel Arteta the leader of that. I understand that. But I just think there comes a point where there are certain players who you give leeway to. Now, there are mitigating circumstances here. We know that Aubameyang had malaria. We know he had COVID. We know that his mother was ill, and so that was a big concern for him. So yes, he has been ill-disciplined at times, and he's had problems like that throughout his career, not just at Arsenal. But I just wonder if there's a little bit of a failure of imagination and a little bit of a failure of leadership there.
Sure, good
and
point.
a failure to compromise.
That's a good point,
it's
Kev.
a shame, I think.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Kev, let's switch North London clubs. Two arrivals at Tottenham today, both from Juventus, Dejan Kulusevski and Rodrigo Bentancur. Is that enough for Tottenham in terms of the top four? Are they going to make a significant difference in that race for the Champions League?
I guess we'll see. I like Kulusevski a lot. I think there is a guy there who, if you look at the technical ability he has, it's very good, very strong left foot, explosive, likes to run at players, he's versatile, he can play on the right of a three, cutting in on his left, or he can play in a more central area, which is what he did earlier in his career when he's coming through at Atalanta. But I like the mentality. He's very eager to learn. Very bright guy, he's only 21, somebody who will, I think, really thrive working under Antonio Conte. And I think the work ethic will really appeal to the Italian. In terms of Bentancur, there's a guy who's very classy as a midfielder. He's got really good passing range. Somebody who Maurizio Sarri very much lent on when he was the Juventus coach, and he played a big part in that Serie A title success. He's won a lot of trophies, but it's whether the Premier League is a bit of a jump for him in terms of the intensity. Serie A is intense, no question about that. But it's just whether it'll take a little while for him to get up to speed.
Sure thing. And just to finish with Kevin, Wout Weghorst, you and I spoke about him earlier on this morning. He's gone from Wolfsburg to Burnley. It's 12 million. Well done, Burnley. Is Kevin still with us?
I am.
Kevin,
I am, Jim.
Yeah, you heard us there
briefly.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Weghorst, we spoke about him earlier this morning. Wolfsburg to Burnley, 12 million quid. Good business?
I think it's terrific business. I think he's somebody that can really help them in terms of goals. The physical aspect is not a problem. The intensity is not a problem. Good in the air, but also can play on the deck too. And he's somebody who needed a bit of a refresh after kind of running out of steam a bit at a Wolfsburg team that's a bit dysfunctional this season. So I wouldn't be put off by that. I think he's perfect for Burnley. I really do.
Kevin, no doubt you're well aware you're not only double shifting, you're triple shifting, because Kevin will update us on all the done deals on the Sports Bar later tonight after the window shuts. Kevin, for the moment, thanks so much.